Hello, dear friends. Christian Agenda, Chapter 3, Christian Privileges. So what can possibly be the privileges of a Christian? They consist in what? In maintaining supreme faithfulness to God. So as much as we can, to what level can we be faithful to God? This is something just for us to think about. But it's being put here as a privilege. Forgetting personal desires while attending to the superior design. So when we are truly, if you think of Jesus as a reference, right? He was here to fulfill God's agenda. He was here in a mission, and he was faithful to that mission, and he was faithful to God's will. So that is a privilege of someone who is fully in line with his teachings and his example. So we put our desires aside to make sure that we put God's will above ours, humbling oneself so that the hand of the Lord may be exalted. Anything and everything that we do and that we manifest, we do because of God's allowing us, God granting us the ability to do so. So God is the one to be exalted at all times. Conquering oneself, that is the privilege of a Christian. So be committed to this work of self-knowledge and of shedding light in the areas where darkness still prevails on us. Renouncing joyfully for the benefits of others. So to be truly Christian is to think of others and put others ahead of us, or the benefit and the well-being of the majority ahead of ours. Working to build the divine kingdom, which is through self-knowledge and the development of all these incredible potentialities that we have within ourselves. Hoping when others despair. In other words, be so deeply connected to the faith, to the understanding, to the meaning of life, that you might be hurting, you might be crying, but you never despair. Entering the temple of silence in the midst of commotion. So when everybody is losing it, you are focusing, you are connecting, you are seeking the source quietly in the intimacy of your own soul. Maintaining one's faith above the torment of doubts. Silencing oneself in time to avoiding hurting others. So you still may have the desire or the possibility of hurting, but you choose not to say, you choose not to hurt. Speaking constructively so that you can become a tool for goodness. Hearing the divine friend when in solitude, opening space to not only speak, not only to ask, but also to be able to hear, to feel. Serve without compensation. Not everything should be paid for. We would be living in a much better world if we all committed to do goodness for the sake of being good and the joy of discovering how wealthy each one of us is. Enduring one's own cross with valor. Learning and profiting from one's suffering. There's always lessons to be learned from difficult experiences. Loving without demands. That is something that we are a long way to conquer or to achieve as a privilege, but we have to start from somewhere. Helping in secret, in other words, do not market your own goodness, because then you are getting a reward right here by the recognition of others. The business is in between you, your consciousness, or you and God. Showing with Christ, detached from the results, just do your part. The result does not depend on you, especially when it comes to other people's lives. Finding brothers in all places, recognizing that it doesn't matter if people think radically differently than you, or if they look different than you, or if they belong to a different culture, they still are your brothers and sisters. Cultivating the pleasure of being useful. discerning the just worth of reasoning and things, purifying evil. All those are Christian privileges. Assisting with sincerity those who err, forgiving as many times as necessary, overcoming obstacles, preserving joyfulness and sweetness even when life is being pretty bitter, but we do understand, we never lose sight that life is always, always working for our betterment, maintaining cheerfulness, detaching oneself from the deceits of the world before the world deceives us, and persevering on the side of good to the end. So these, my friends, are Christian privileges, things that we can achieve. They are reachable if we persist, if we don't give up on ourselves, understanding that this is not something that will be achieved tomorrow, but it is achievable. And the most important thing is to be on the path, to be on the journey.